Well, that last video was fun, but let's get back to trying to find facts. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Okay, so I've had, I don't even know how many comments in the comment thread of this past video where we went over what Judge Hippler said. He either blurted out something that's in a sealed affidavit, or he is obtaining information about this case from places like social media and mainstream media where a bunch of rumor type stuff has been discussed. But again, it could also be a mixture of both. There's been a gag order in this case pretty much from the beginning, and a lot of things we only get like hints at. We don't have full descriptions or full details for, so it could be a mix of both. It could be something rumored and something factual, but until trial, we just have to guess at it. Now, when it comes to what Judge Hippler stated, he's stating that in, I'm guessing from the words that he used, multiple affidavits with an S, that there's a statement about how clothes could have been put in a bag and not have any sort of transfer from inside of the home when it comes to the victim's blood into the vehicle, when it comes to the fact that there's no DNA evidence in Bryan Kohberger's car. Now, this was an argument, again, that they were having that I felt was kind of strange, because when it came to probable cause for arrest, probable cause for the search warrants to go into the car, to go into the apartment, to go into his parents' house, the fact that there was no DNA found and the fact that there was no connections between Bryan and the victims found would not be something that you would present to the court, to the magistrate, in order to get probable cause for the arrest and for the search warrant. Those are results of the search warrants. So it felt like an odd argument. I don't really know what she was referencing with that. It could maybe have been something more, maybe when it came to the grand juries, because by the time the federal and the state grand jury situations happened, they would have known those facts. I don't know what she was really referencing, other than something at the time that sounded like it was completely a useless argument. I have a lot of comments that state this sounds like rumor, like it's MSM stuff. We haven't seen this in any documents whatsoever. But then I also have people telling me that there's a document out there that is actually claiming this. And they're also claiming that a certain YouTuber has this document and read from it. I just spent about 2 hours or so going through all of Sleuthy Goosey's tweets on Twitter when it comes to anything exculpatory or anything to do with Bethany Funk, because she is like the master of keeping important information, and she has a lot of stuff posted on there that I've actually now, like, we're going to talk about some stuff from back at the beginning. There's a lot of interesting stuff from back then. Anyways, the only thing that I have found when it came to anything with Bethany's statements are the following facts. There was a subpoena requested for out-of-state service, foreign service to Nevada, where Bethany was, on April the 3rd of 2023. It was actually served to Bethany on April 11th of 2023. And then there was a motion to squash the subpoena, quash, not squash, but same difference, quash the subpoena. And that was on 4/21 of 23. So right off the bat, Bethany is fighting being a witness, talking to the defense, giving her statement to the defense without the police and the feds and that side being the ones to get the statement. She was refusing to speak to them. Well, something happened in between that filing on the 21st and April the 26th, because all of a sudden there was an agreement to where instead of Bethany coming back to Idaho, the defense team decided to go and meet her in Nevada. And honestly, when it comes to anything official, that is the last date that we have. Now, what you're going to find is that the next two things that we discussed, we've already discussed here on this channel. It's funny how so many things are coming full circle and having to be talked about again. Back on April 24th, I put 2 videos out because this information came out pretty much at the exact same time. We had this information talking about how Bethany Funk could possibly have exculpatory evidence to exonerate Bryan Kohberger. And then we had an article come out about her seeing a naked guy and also claiming that she was the one who actually found the bodies. Now, when it comes to what actually happened, we know the story that here on this channel we've discussed that came from Kaylee's mother speaking to Drunk Turkey, claiming, again, for those of you who might not have heard this already, that the roommates, they're not claiming which one. Most of us just think that it's Dylan based off of the few things that we do think that we know about what happened that they've told us so far. But that one or both of the roommates called Hunter Johnson and apparently a few other people over to the house, and that Hunter Johnson actually is the one who got Xana's door open because they were called over because apparently the two girls could not get Xana's door open. Hunter got the door open, saw both Xana and Ethan deceased inside, saw that Ethan's body was actually blocking the door, turned around, yelled at the girls to get the F out and call 911. And then the story after that, there's multiple versions of that too, but we can stop there for now. Now, that's just an article referencing something that technically no one should have had access to. What we're going to talk about first, though, is the actual affidavit in support of this subpoena over to Nevada that was written and signed by Richard Bitonti, who is the investigator working for Ann Taylor and the defense. Now, these two have worked together in another case. I think we discussed it here on this channel. Maybe we'll talk about it again, do a little bit more digging into a few of those back things where these two have worked together before. But for now, let's go over this again. Again, we have talked about this in snippets before I could show you like the full thing and I really knew how to screen share. So again, this is not going to be new to a lot of you, but we're having to refresh our memories because there's so much more information coming out in court and we really are trying to figure out what's happening here. Now, Sleuthy Goosey actually reposted this from Mike Baker, who is an actual like news person, from his Twitter back on April 24th of 2023. Let's go back over this document. This is the affidavit in support of motion for out-of-state service, again, for the subpoena for Bethany Funk. Richard Bitonti, being first duly sworn upon oath, deposes and says, 1. I am a criminal investigator hired by the defense to assist in the representation of Bryan Kohberger. 2. I was asked by appointed counsel Ann C. Taylor to investigate the alleged incident which led to the arrest of Bryan Kohberger. 3. Bryan is charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. 4. The deaths took place in a 3-story home. There are 2 bedrooms on each floor, bathrooms on each floor, and a kitchen, dining, and living room in the middle floor. 5. Mr. Kohberger is alleged to have entered the house around 4 a.m. while 6 people were sleeping/present, killing 4 people in 2 separate rooms. 6. The people killed were located in 2 bedrooms, one on the 2nd floor and the other on the 3rd floor. 7. Bethany Funk's bedroom was on the 1st floor. 8. The other surviving roommate's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. 9. Bethany Funk was interviewed by police on several occasions. She disclosed things she heard and things she saw. Now, again, it wasn't until the PCA came out that we had proof that at least one of the roommates saw or heard things, because we were questioning the entire time, why are we being told that this 8-hour delay is normal because home chick didn't hear nothing? Okay, that makes no sense. Then we found out the camera outside the house also picked up things. Then we started finding out more truths. And now look at the last thing that we now found out about Dylan. There's a hell of a lot more going on that she claims to have seen, even though she was apparently so intoxicated, inebriated, so out of her mind that she apparently has claimed several times that she doesn't know if what she actually saw was real or a dream. So there's that. This coming out was the first time that we had confirmation that Bethany also apparently heard and saw things. Then, of course, we also have the screenshots of the text messages going around that have been spread for quite a while now that are supposed to be Dylan and Bethany having conversations with each other. We also know that, according to Kaylee Goncalves' family, that Dylan was reaching out to all of the roommates whenever this stuff was going on, and of course not getting a single reply from anyone but Bethany. 10. Bethany Funk was present at the home 8 hours later when police were called, arrived on scene, and discovered the homicides. And see, that's a really crazy statement too. That's a really, really crazy statement because we're being led to believe that both of the girls were home at the exact same time, that they were in their own separate bedrooms whenever all this stuff first started, that Dylan was on the 2nd floor, Bethany was on the bottom floor, and according to the PCA, that's just where Dylan originally was. And what all of the families apparently were told is that all of the girls were actually in the bottom floor bedroom after the event, and that's where they were the entire 8 hours, apparently. Now, there's, again, so many stories about that, it's hard to really figure out which one is true and which one isn't, and honestly, I don't know if we're ever going to get the real truth about that timeline. Hopefully the defense really pounds down on that and we get some clarity on that come trial, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But I remember whenever this statement came out that a lot of people were then suspecting that Bethany actually had left, or that she wasn't there during the situation whatsoever, or maybe she even left after the fact, and it was because maybe she just thought it was too noisy, but she didn't really know what was going on, or some people even thought she knew specifically what was happening, and she left because she was scared, and again, didn't call 911 when she was safe. That part didn't make any sense whatsoever. But maybe leaving thinking there was just too much going on, saying, hey, can I come sleep at your place, doing something like that, leaving, and then coming back, coming into a home where now people are deceased, but you don't really know maybe, so you try to open Xana's door and you can't get in, so you call Hunter Johnson and then he comes over. That could be how this played out, but we don't know because for some reason all of this is being kept so secret, it's causing everyone to just basically spiral into chaos. Now, again, it was this statement that really made people start thinking that. But so far, we have been told they were both there. They were speaking to each other during the time of the crimes via text message communication. And they were both there whenever 911 had to be called. And they were apparently there the entire time. How they're going to explain that and make it make any sense for two grown-ass women to have been communicating with each other about what is happening in the house, what they're hearing, and for one to claim that, or at least for us to be being told that one was like basically frightened by somebody who walked past the room, to where she then left her room at some point and went down to Bethany's because that's where she was the next morning, later on that same morning, actually 8 hours later. We need some clarification, and I just don't understand why this part right here is so secretive. This is like the simplest part of all of it. It could alleviate a lot of this crap, but they love it. I'm telling you right now. The cops love the fact that we're doing all of this. Number 11. During the course of my investigation, it became known to me that Bethany Funk has information material to the charges against Mr. Kohberger. Portions of information Ms. Funk has is exculpatory to the defendant. Ms. Funk's information is unique to her experiences and cannot be provided by any other witness. Bethany Funk resides in the state of Nevada, and it is necessary to subpoena this witness because the witness testimony is material and necessary to this case. And again, as you can see, this was actually signed on March 22nd. The subpoena was not obtained in order to be sent across state lines over to Nevada until April the 3rd. So that's like what, almost 10 days, 11 days? Yeah. Now, when it comes to all of the comments from you guys about how there's apparently some sort of official document out there that has been read to you from certain creators, I went over to Jay Embry's channel because some of you mentioned him, and I searched for it, and I put in all kinds of different keywords. I skimmed through, I don't even know how many videos of his that were talking about the roommates, information about the roommates. It was torture, because you guys know that I don't like anything that he does over there. Okay, but I tried for probably like 30 minutes going through a bunch of videos, searching through keywords. I couldn't find anything. If somebody could actually like give me the actual title of the freaking video, I will have no issue going and reading it and figuring it out myself. But just going over there and looking, I did not find him doing anything other than reading the documents that we've already seen and going over the same article information that we're about to go over again for the second time on this channel. Again, if there is somebody that you actually know for a fact has this document, please let me know, because I would love to actually read it and talk about it, because as far as I can tell, I can't find it. I can't find any sources literally at all, whether it be anybody that I like or dislike or somebody that I've never even heard of. I cannot find it. There's just speaking about it in this one article from the Mirror, which is a freaking company overseas in the UK that we've talked about before. This is where that information came from. But them having this information makes zero sense to me because there's a gag order. Now, unless there's some sort of weird stipulation when it comes to gag orders in the United States, not counting when it comes to an entity overseas, I don't know if that's a thing, because, you know, there's loopholes to all kinds of stuff that we don't know about. I don't know. I'm going to dig into that and see if maybe that's a situation, and maybe that's how this person got around getting this. I don't know if that's a thing. I'm just talking out loud when it comes to the clothes in the bag. But as you can see, this article from the Mirror that was updated on April the 25th of 2023. Now, I don't know what was changed. I have no clue what was changed. Whenever I talked about anything when it came to this situation with Bethany, I did see this article. I believe we did discuss it, but whenever I did a video on stuff, we talked about this one. from the Daily Mail, because this is the one that claims that Bethany Funk was the one that actually found the bodies. But I'm not really quite understanding where that's coming from either, because we just freshly went over what the investigator actually did state in the document that we at least have been allowed to see. Now, when it comes to looking for stuff, it's stuff about people talking about the article. Okay, there's people that I've never seen before. There's people that I recognize. There are stories that have nothing to do with anything. And see, honestly, this thumbnail right here by Michelle Walks, and look, I love Michelle Walks' work when it comes to the Delphi case, but we disagree wholeheartedly in this case whatsoever, which is still just wild to me, because she's got such a clear head when it comes to Delphi, but for some reason she has like blinders on in this case, and I don't know why. Maybe she's seeing something I don't see. I've listened to so many videos that she's done on Idaho trying to understand why she feels the way she feels, but then feels the way she feels about Delphi, and I can't find the connection. I really just can't. I feel the same way in both of these cases. It's interesting to me that she's on different sides when it comes to Idaho, but I still love the way that she thinks about stuff. She's very, very smart in putting things together. But this thumbnail is extremely misleading, because her thumbnail is Bryan. It's the document that we just went over from the investigator. And her thumbnail says, "Wasn't me, Gov. I wasn't naked." There's nothing in the statement from the investigator that says that. She's taking what was said in this Mirror article from someone over in the UK and putting it on top of an official document next to Bryan's face, making it look like that's what's actually being said here. And that's not true. That's extremely misleading. That's extremely dangerous. But again, if we continue, you can see that there's really nothing else. It doesn't give me literally anything else when it comes to proof of anything. There's no one claiming to have the actual affidavit or anything. And even this right here, this is from, I've heard of this channel before. Let me open this one and see if it's a different document. Okay, so I'm actually glad I looked here, because I almost forgot to show you guys this. Thank you, Cooler Lucher, for having this video out here to remind me. If you go back into the case of public interest site, this document's not there anymore. I remember us seeing this before, but it's not there. They removed it. So as you can see from this, it says that it was actually started on March 24th of 2023, which would have been 2 days after the investigators' affidavit, the one that we just went over. But if we look at the actual case of interest website, it's not on here. It's not on here at all. We have a stipulated motion, and this is for supplemental request for discovery under seal. And then we have these orders to seal all of these other things right here. Then we have a Brady disclosure that was put in here on March of 23. And I'm going to just go ahead and confirm my thinking here is connecting still that this has to be the fact that the police are very well aware of whatever it is that Bethany said on the 22nd, and they are filing that information as a Brady violation just a few days after, 5 days after that was actually signed by the investigator. Because you can go back in here yourselves. Even the information from the investigator himself is not on here. We start talking about stuff about the media when we get into May. That information is gone, completely gone. They have a protective order for supplemental requests for discovery, stuff to seal again, but they don't have that information on here. So for some reason, it's not even available in the public docket anymore. Let me go check the case summary and see if it's still there. Okay, so we have all of the orders to seal all the way down to 323, where we have, again, the second supplemental request for discovery under seal. Again, for the same thing, the defendant's second supplemental request for discovery, Exhibit B, is sealed. That's probably what this is, I bet. This one right here is probably what this was. So we ended up with this sealed document anyway? How did that happen? I mean, I know Mike Baker is the one that Sleuthy Goosey got it from. That's wild to me. Because look, it's not here anywhere. Now we're getting back into May. So yeah, that's wild. Now this right here is the Washoe County actual district court website where this information is held, at least anyway. We have the documents that are apparently attached to it, but this is just the actual information when it comes to the case site. And I don't see a place to be able to grab any sort of documents when it comes to this. I mean, I guess maybe they could be FOIA'd, but again, guys, I haven't seen anyone who has this, and I am like actively looking. Like, I'm recording myself actively looking so that you guys can see I'm for real looking. Okay, I dug through Reddit and a few other places, and I cannot find anyone that has the actual affidavit from the investigator where these things are being claimed. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the portions from the Mirror article because this is the original source of this information, and there's been no one that's been able to validate it as far as I can tell. But again, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments exactly where it is, where the actual document is, and I will gladly come out and speak about it no matter where it's from, as long as it's legit. Don't send me links, though, because I don't click them. However, one of the two survivors, Miss Funk, allegedly heard or witnessed things that could potentially exonerate the suspect. Investigator Richard Bitonti, who was working for Ann Taylor, Mr. Kohberger's lawyer, has subpoenaed Miss Funk to appear at the accused killer's hearing on June the 28th. According to the affidavit, she allegedly witnessed a naked man running through a rear sliding door. She lived on the first floor of the home and came face to face with the alleged killer. Do you, if you do not understand how many freaking things are wrong with just the little bit that I just read, then I don't know why you're following this case still, honestly. This is the most back-assward thing that I've ever seen or heard in my entire life. And I know that I've read this before and gone over it before, but for some reason, it's just hitting me so much differently right now because this is still not updated, corrected, none of the things. For one, Bethany in no way, shape, nor form could see that freaking sliding glass door from where her bedroom was. Okay. It was Dylan that is the one that in the PCA claims that she saw this person walking past her bedroom door in a direction that would be towards the sliding glass door. And in no way, shape, nor form did the PCA, nor what I just read you from the investigator himself, say a hot damn thing about a naked man. Now, I did do a video on September the 18th of 2023 after What's the Obsession came out with the video with information that she's claiming is coming from people that are at the school, that live in that area, that know Bethany. Now, again, you have to take anything and everything that you hear that doesn't have an official document, an official person, or anything official attached to it with 20 tons of Himalayan healing salt, okay? You just have to. Now, in this statement, it's not a naked man. It's a man in black running past the window. That statement makes more sense if Dylan really did see someone dressed in all black walking in that direction, and if that person went out the sliding door, came around, and ran back around the front through the parking lot area of King Road. That would be the only way that Bethany could have seen a man in black running across her window. What this person is writing in this Mirror article isn't even about what Bethany could have even possibly physically been able to see, and she's also not the one who came face to face with literally anyone. So I don't know. Again, I don't know where people are getting the information about an official document that actually states she saw someone stripping down and putting clothes into a bag and running naked. I have searched since last night. I have searched almost all morning. It is 4:30 p.m. and this is what I've found. I'm showing you guys exactly what I found, where I looked, where I'm getting my specific information from. I don't know where y'all are getting that from, but please, again, I'm not saying that it's incorrect. If it's correct and there's an actual document that's out there that's real, show me, please. I need to know, because if it's a fact, then it needs to be discussed and it needs to be factually discussed, and that's what I'm here to do. So, if you have that information, again, please do not give me links, because I'm not going to click on them. I'm no dummy, okay? I'm not going to click on any links. Send me the information in the comments, email it to me, send it to me on Twitter, send it to me on Facebook, send it to me a million different ways. Send me screenshots. No links, though. No links. And again, if that one channel that I can't stand actually does have this document, again, I searched and searched. I could not find it. But you can tell me which video it is of his, and I will gladly go and review it for the sake of truth and fact. But I want to know what you guys feel about this so far, because this one subject itself should not have so many different versions, so many misconceptions, so many different things happening with it, so many on this side thinking that it's just MSM myth that we don't know where the judge is getting from, and then people thinking, oh, maybe it's a sealed document, maybe it's just an opinion, and then so many other people saying, hey, no, this is what Bethany said. What I got from it is that it was an expert opinion claiming that the one way, that one possible way that Bryan Kohberger could have possibly done this without getting any of the victim's DNA, be it skin, hair, sweat, saliva, or blood, from the crime scene into his vehicle or into his apartment or anything, could be because of wearing some sort of protective outfit that covered everything that he then stripped and put into a bag and I guess discarded somewhere or whatever. That is how I am taking what I heard him state, that it's like more like it's in an affidavit somewhere. It's in one of the affidavits, or it's in affidavits. To me, it's like a professional opinion that he is regurgitating into the argument because, again, they're talking about how the magistrate wasn't aware that there was no DNA evidence in Bryan's car or his apartment or his parents' house. And I said that seems like it's an irrelevant argument because they wouldn't know that at the time that they're filling out the information for the arrest. All of that was done after the fact. That's why I wanted to try to find this information, because I'm like, okay, where is he possibly getting this from? Because if there really is an affidavit out there written by the investigator that actually says these words were said to them, I would love to see it. Because as far as we've been told, they were supposed to go to Nevada and talk to Bethany. But then the preliminary got canceled and all kinds of things started happening, and we hadn't heard a damn thing else, as far as I know. But let me know if you know different down in the comments. I will definitely look into it, and I will do a follow-up video. But for now, let me know what you guys think about all of this. And if you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please don't forget to leave a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that that notification bell was set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, updates, or deep dives. See y'all.